Ram Ram Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radha. Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radha. Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. So my voice is clear.
Yes, Prabhu.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudhirate Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th chapter, 12th verse, 12th, 6th canto, 12th chapter and 12th verse. Avidwan evam atmanam manyate nisham ishwaram bhutai srijati bhutani grihasate tani tay swayam. Synonyms: avidwan, one who is foolish without knowledge. Evam, thus, atmanam, himself, manyate, considers, anisham, although totally dependent on others, Ishwaram, as the supreme controller, independent, bhutai, by the living entities, Srijati, he the Lord creates, bhutani, other living entities, grasate, he devours, tani, them, sai, by other living beings, Swayam, himself. Translation: a foolish, senseless person cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although always dependent, he falsely thinks himself the Supreme. If one thinks according to one's previous fruitive actions, one's material body is created by the father and mother, and the same body is annihilated by another agent, as another animal is devoured by a tiger. This is not proper understanding. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself creates and devours the living beings through other living beings. Purport: according to the conclusion of the philosophy known as Karma Mimamsa, one's karma or previous fruitive activity is the cause of everything, and therefore there is no need to work. Those who arrive at this conclusion are foolish. When a father creates a child, he does not do so independently. He is induced to do so by the Supreme Lord. As the Lord Himself says in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, Sarvasya chaham hridi sanvishto matasmritir dhyanam apohanam cha. I am in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Unless one receives dictation from the Supreme Personality of Godhead who sits within everyone's heart, one cannot be induced to create anything. Therefore, the father and the mother are not the creators of the living entity. According to the living entity's karma, fruitive activities, he is put into the semen of the father who injects the living entity into the womb of the mother. Then, according to the body of the mother and father, yatha yoni yatha bijam, the living entity accepts the body and takes birth to suffer or enjoy. Therefore, the Supreme Lord is the original cause of one's birth. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is the cause of one's being killed. No one is independent, everyone is dependent. The true conclusion is that the only independent person is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadaptikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sadrujatam Sahagana Raghunathambikam Tam Sajiva Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pradam Ganalita Sri Vishakam He Krishna Karuna Kundo Dhanabandhu Jagatpate Bhupesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Sapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishvanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितनामपावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णापृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे Hare Krishna. So we are studying the chapter number 12, which is the glorious death of Vritasur. And in this chapter, the this Vritasur is uh, this sharing or speaking these verses in which he is saying that a foolish, senseless person cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although always dependent, he falsely thinks himself the Supreme. If one thinks according to one's previous fruitive actions, one's material body is created by father and mother, the same body is annihilated by another agent, as another animal is devoured by a tiger. This is not proper understanding. So, in this uh, context, there is a very common saying that that what I personally observed or met few people during this life journey, that people believe that sometimes they say we don't believe in God, we don't believe in any supreme personality, but yes, we are very strong believer of karma. Why? Because we have seen that there is some reaction uh, to the to the action, some reaction to the action what one has performed previously, or to promote that one should do good and nice things in society. So this karma is a very good subject to publicize. So the people generally say, "Oh, we are a very good believer of karma. We believe in karma. One should not do bad with anybody, or if you do something bad, then you have to face the repercussions in this very lifetime. Everything ends with this birth. What do you think that if you do bad with me, then you will not face the reaction of that bad action? You will surely face that reaction in this very lifetime. Heaven or hell, everything is here. You don't have to go anywhere. You will face the results here only." So the people, they have different kinds of perception, different kinds of mentality, different kinds of mindset related to the karma. So to do good in the society, to be moral in society, one one brings this kind of subject. I remember one of my friends in school, during my school times, he said, uh, he was like a very, very analytical person. So he told me that whatever this spirituality is, it's all, everything, every story, every this narration, pastime, instruction is just to make the the person moral, that one should have some ethics value in his life. So that's why these teachings are there. It's not, nobody was there. It's all mythological. But the thing is, just to be in the society, to have some disciplined life. So just to have, like, when a mother is narrating some story to a child to instruct something. So it's like that. That's all. So the people have developed various different mentalities in this way. Then today's verse is indicating that this kind of mentality is foolishness. This kind of perception is senseless. That if we think, and the purpose Srila Prabhupada starts, that according to the conclusion of the philosophy known as Karam Mimamsa, one's karma or previous fruitive activity is the cause of everything. So this philosophy says that, or whatever I just shared, that this philosophy says that karma is the cause of everything. So one does not have to do anything. So it's just whatever I have done, I will get it. So those who arrive at this conclusion, they are foolish. Srila Prabhupada is sharing an example that if when a father creates a child, he does not do so independently. He is induced to do by the Supreme Lord. And he's quoting Srila Prabhupada's verse. He's quoting Krishna's verse in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, where Krishna says, 15.15, yeah, Krishna says, Sarvasya chaham hridi sanivishto mata smritir jnanam apohanam cha. That Krishna is seated in everyone's heart. From him come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So everything is coming from Krishna. So one thinks, oh no, I know. I mean, if a man and woman is uniting to have a baby, so how this knowledge is coming? That yes, this is my wife, this is my husband. Oh yes, we have begotten one child. This is our child. So everything, remembrance, knowledge, forgetfulness. I recently visited and traveled with at my wife's uh, wife's great grandparents' house. So it's like my wife's mother's and my mother-in-law parents. So they are now in 90s. So he don't my this my mother-in-law's father. He don't remember anything. He just, I met him and I was sitting with him and he asked me from where do I came. He asked me for around 10 to 15 times in 10 minutes. So he just say one thing and then change the topic, and then again he asks, "Oh, from where did you came?" He don't know who am I. I mean, I'm related to him. He just know his wife because he's seeing him 24 hours a day, and he don't know I mean, even my wife. So what to say about me? So the point is this: what happened now? He's the same person which we can see in the old pictures or videos few years back when he was young, but now he don't remember. He had forgotten the details of the family members. He's not able to recognize. So what happened? So it's by the course of time it happened. So Krishna is that by this remembrance, knowledge, forgetfulness, this all comes from Krishna. So this is a special mercy upon us because one can see that remembrance is a good thing that Krishna is giving us. Knowledge is a very good thing that Krishna is giving us. But why forgetfulness? Why to forget anything? If we forget anything, then it means we would be able to, if we forget our bank balance, if we forget our bank account details, we forget about our locker keys. So it would be very harmful for, or very, it can be very much loss making transaction for us if we forget. So why? This is the mercy that Krishna is saying, that I am seated in everyone's heart. From me, remembrance is coming, knowledge is coming, and forgetfulness is coming. So, as we know that the soul is continuously evolving through different bodies, transmigrating from one body to another, from one body to another in different species of life. So, what if I have left my body in my last birth through a car accident, or I was an animal, somebody had butchered me for my flesh. So what if all I remember all these things in my this birth? So I would be very scared with the knife. I would be very scared. I would be very scared with the vehicles, with the tires, with the heavy trucks. So I would be very scared with these things. But now I don't know what happened since time immemorial in so many births I have taken. I don't know anything. I don't remember. So this forgetfulness is a mercy of Krishna. If I remember all those details, it would be very troublesome. It's very difficult to digest the pains of this birth. So what to say if I remember all the details of my previous births lined up in so many different words in different species? If I remember all those things, but we can see the example of few exceptions, that those who remember their pastimes, reincarnation, those who remember their past life, their past life, their previous birth details. Not many, but at least one. When this a girl remembers his previous birth and the local native language of that place, and she's taking a small girl, she's taking to her parents to that place and telling that I was living there, I left, I died like this. Was my husband, this was my mother-in-law, this was my father-in-law, these things were favorite to them, so everything. So what if, I mean, how can that girl live now, that she remembers previous details, everything she knows now, a small child knows. So is there exceptions? But in general, forgetfulness in this way, in this particular scenario, is also a mercy of Krishna. So everything is coming from Krishna. Our all attachments, which we develop by the course of time, in particular form of life, so all gets washed away in the next birth, in one sense, and then one starts a new journey with the accumulated desires. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 5th chapter, 15th verse, wherein he says that when one can think, because of today, in today's verse, if we read in nutshell, it says that the person who thinks that karma is the responsible thing, or the karma is the factor develops which develops one particular uh, life actions, reactions. So that's all. If it is that, then it is that the person is a fool. So further one can say, so it means the karma is not a very active player. It's the Supreme Lord who is the cause of all causes. It means, yes, I got that person who is responsible for all my miseries. I am not only solely responsible for my activities, there is somebody else, and I caught him today, that he is Krishna. He is the responsible person who is disturbing me, who is creating reactions, who is not who is also involved in my miseries. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says in 15th verse of 5th chapter that nor does the Supreme Lord assumes anyone's sinful or pious activities. Embodied beings, however, are bewildered because of the ignorance which covers their real knowledge. So it is not that Krishna is assuming somebody is, oh, he is sinful, he is pious, I don't like him, I don't like her, I like this, I like that. Srila Prabhupada was giving an example I was hearing just a day before in his lecture, that if a father has five children, and one, if out of them one is very obedient, one is having very good service attitude, so the father would naturally have an affection towards that child. He is affectionate towards all the five children, but he's specially inclined towards that, towards that child who is taking special care. That's what we say, a reciprocation. That if one regards us nicely, one greets us well, so we also encounter reply, or in a counter reciprocation, we also feels like so for him or her. Similarly, Krishna is a person having feelings, full of feelings, emotions. So if a child is praying to him, if a child is very affectionate to him, oh, what kind of food should I cook for Krishna? Or what, how should I dress Krishna? Or what should I bring for Krishna? What should I read about? What should I read about Krishna? I should chant his names very nicely. I should go to take his darshan in the temple, how well he dressed today, what he is wearing today. Oh, this is Thursday, or maybe yellow, or maybe this one. Oh, this dress he was wearing on Janmashtami. So one who is constantly thinking about Krishna. So Krishna is also having the counter reciprocation for that. Once one devotee shared with Hanuman that you are a very good devotee, you are constantly serving. So have you got your name in Lord Ram's diary, that in the names of registered devotees who are serving him, are you having your name in that diary? So Hanuman became curious. Oh, I don't know about that diary. I can check. So he went to Lord Ram and asked, dear Lord, can you please show me that diary of devotees? He said, oh, what happened? Just I am curious to see. Okay, so please see this diary. So Lord Ram showed that diary to Hanuman, and Hanuman is seeing that diary, just searching out the names. Where is Hanuman written? So he's just turning around the pages and pages and pages, and the diary is finished. There is no name of Hanuman. So, he's just asking, oh, I'm not having my name in this. So Lord Ram was smiling. Oh, what happened? Oh, my name is not there. I am also serving you, but my name is not there in your devotees list. So Lord Ram gave him another diary. So in that diary, so it's written Hanuman, Hanuman, Hanuman on every page. So Hanuman smilingly asked, what's this? So Lord Ram said that this diary, which was the first diary, it's the diary of my devotees who remember me. So this is the diary of the devotees who remember me. And the second diary is the diary to whom I remember. So this is the diary of devotees to whom I remember. So Hanuman, so Lord Ram is constantly thinking about Hanuman. So this is the reciprocation between the Lord and his dear devotees. So in this particular verse which we are discussing today, that it means that Lord is responsible, Krishna is responsible for one's actions, reactions, and one's miserable life. So the Krishna is not actually responsible in this way. If we say that Krishna is the cause of all causes, so it doesn't mean that Krishna is the cause of all causes of one miseries. He is creating troubles for the living entities everywhere. It's because in the purport Srila Prabhupada says in Bhagavad Gita that this this situation that is happening, it's because of the free will of the living entity. Because of its free will, this it creates desires that I want to enjoy in this way, I want to enjoy that way. We can see it's not a very technical thing to understand. We can just survey the whole world around us. Everybody is having his desires. I want this, I want that. This is my way of living. This is my style. This is my way. So everybody is having desires. Everybody is having desires to fulfill. So what's this happening? Why this is happening? Because of that free will that I want to enjoy. I want to enjoy. I want this. So by this desire, by this free will, one develops desires to fulfill. And when one is very much reluctant and when one gets bewildered in his desires, so Krishna allows him to fulfill those desires. So in this way, we cannot say that Lord is never responsible for the actions and reactions of the particular situation which he may desired. So it's the bewildering situation, condition that the living entity wants to fulfill that desire. So the material nature under the direction of Krishna is facilitating the living entity to fulfill those desires. Krishna is the constant companion of the living entity, which is living as Paramatma or the super soul, where he can understand the desires of the individual soul. Just like one can smell the flavor of a flower of by being near it. So one can really smell it. So similarly, Paramatma, the super soul, can feel. In Bhagavad Gita introduction, Srila Prabhupada writes that Krishna understands the psychic movements of a living entity, that what one is moving around in mind, what is one thinking. You don't have to write it somewhere to submit it to Krishna to see what I have thought. So Krishna can understand. The super soul is there, he's a constant companion. So desire is a subtle form of conditioning for the living entity. The Krishna fulfills his desire as he deserves. Now the point is of being deserving also. It's not like I desire to become prime minister of a country, so Krishna will fulfill that desire. Okay, so everybody is desiring to become rich, so everybody will become rich. Everybody is desiring to to have a very handsome personality, to have disease-free body, so everybody will get that. Everybody will become boss. Nobody is servant. So it's not like that. Krishna fulfills the desire as one deserves. That's why it is said, man proposes and God disposes. So so individual soul can just desire. The living entity is not omnipotent in fulfilling those desires. Krishna can fulfill those desires, but being neutral to everyone, he does not interfere with the desires of the minute independence of the living entities. But when one desires Krishna, like the children, one out of five children, when he was obedient and very much like disciplined and wants to love his father. So similarly, when one desires Krishna, so Krishna takes special care and encourages one to desire in such a way that one can attain to him and be eternally happy. So the process, the flow which we are going through it to understand this verse and its relevance in our lives, that being a living entity, I'm having free will. I desired so many things. Krishna, being a caring father, trying to fulfill those desires as I deserve. But when I turned towards Krishna, when I got attracted towards Krishna, when I started thinking about Krishna by the grace of devotees, by the blessings of pure devotees, Vaishnavas, so then Krishna being taking special interest in me. Wow, that Krishna is taking special interest in me, and he is encouraging me to desire in such a way that my desires has been transformed now. Earlier I was desiring I want to be a big man, I want to be having so many cars, big bungalow, many facilities, so many servants, big fame. But now my desires has been transformed. Earlier I want to be the biggest boss. Now I want to become the biggest servant. So my desires has been transformed, and Krishna is encouraging me to desire in such a way and so that I can attain Krishna and become eternally happy. So this is what we have discussed or shared till now. Further going on is that uh, in the next canto, seventh canto, there will be a verse, or there is a verse that which teaches us That super soul in every body gives intelligence to the individual soul according to his capacity for understanding. One can say, oh, okay, you teach that Krishna being Krishna as a super soul lives in everyone's heart. So why this super soul? Why this super soul who is witnessing everybody's desire is not stopping the criminals, is not stopping the rapists, is not stopping the dacoits, is not stopping the fraudsters. Why? Why the super soul is sleeping? So in the seventh canto, we find that verse that super soul in every body gives intelligence to the individual soul according to his capacity for understanding. It's not that super soul in my body, in my heart, knows less about the science of Krishna consciousness, and the super soul sitting in another's body knows better or more or teaching more, sharing more, not sharing with me, sharing with him. So it depends upon the capacity for understanding. We see the time, place, and circumstances. Like if we see in the matters of religion also, like Jesus Christ says that I am the Son of God, and he taught the basic Ten Commandments. But what's the result of those teachings? They have the audience who have heard that message is crucifying him, or those basic commandments that you should not hurt, you should not kill. So with these basic commandments, the audience is not able to digest. So the capacity of understanding is too low. Now, what to say if if Jesus Christ started sharing the Bhagavatam verses with them, if this he started sharing the teachings of Narad Muni with them, they are not able to digest the basic Ten Commandments. We know the history about that uh, Pegamber who is sharing the basic commandments, basic things, basic teachings, and the person are running after him for killing him. So this is happening. So the audience, the capacity for understanding matters. So the verse further continues that the super soul is the chief within the body. So the super soul is manifested to the individual soul according to the individual's comparative development of knowledge, austerity, and penance, and so on. So the verse again, Bhagavad Gita 15.15, very nice and beautiful verse, wherein Krishna states that in his localized aspect as Paramatma, he gives intelligence to the individual soul as far as he is able to grasp it. Therefore, that's why we can find the individual soul in different high and level positions. To understand this in very simple terms, the soul, individual soul is Satchidanand, super soul is there. So why there is difference in the level of a consciousness and the positions? One is acting very nicely, very nice devotee. One is acting very weirdly. One is completely engrossed in ignorance. One is in very much passion. One is in pure goodness. Why this is happening? High and low positions. The soul is there in the body. The super soul is there in the body, because a living entity being in the body of a bird, beast, they cannot take instructions from the Supreme Soul as adequately as an advanced human being. Thus, there are gradations of bodily forms. So, if we talk about human society, so the perfect Brahman is supposed to be the most advanced in spiritual consciousness. And further advanced than him is the Vaishnava. So, therefore, the best persons are the Vaishnavas and Vishnu. So, Vaishnavas are there who are taking that guidance from the super soul. The Vishnu is there who is guiding them, guiding the individual soul. So beginning from Brahma down to the ant, everyone is conducted by the super soul. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hrideshu Arjuna Tithastati. But because of a particular person's advancement in spiritual consciousness, he is considered to be important. So this is what we are trying to relate in today's verse, that the Supreme Lord is the original cause of one's birth. One can think that I got this body, I looks like my father, my sister looks like my mother, or vice versa. So I got this body from these parents. They are responsible for my birth. So if the parents are solely responsible for my birth, for this body, so why every parent are not able to give healthy body to their kids? If the parents are only responsible means to give birth to the baby, to the child, then why every parent cannot give healthy body to their child? Why some are born physically challenged, in a physically challenged situation, somebody is handicapped, somebody is mentally disturbed, somebody is not fit in many aspects, some are not intelligent, not good looking. Why? If I want to create something, I will create it very nicely. If I'm really a creator, then I would take care of everything. Oh, this should be like this should be like that. If I'm customizing a desktop for my use, so I will put the best memory, the hard disk should be having that much capacity, high speed, latest technology. Why I'm not able to do that? I am disturbed by my own creation. My child doesn't listen me. I am the creator of my child. He doesn't listen me. He doesn't obey my instructions. So why I am not why no, I am failing? I am a creator. Why I am failing to create a obedient child? Why I am failing to create a stable child, a physically and healthy child? Why I am failing to do that if I am a real creator? But yes, I am responsible. I am responsible because I and my wife united, so we gave birth to a child. Yes, I am responsible, but I am not the original cause of the birth of my children. So Krishna is the supreme cause. That's why we say Krishna is the cause of all causes. So there is a cause. Yes, I am a cause, but my cause is also Krishna. I'm not the only cause. If I am a cause of something, so Krishna is the cause of mine. So ultimately, Krishna is the cause of all causes. So the next aspect, what we just discussed in a glimpse, is that where Srila Prabhupada concluded today's verse that no one is independent, everyone is dependent. The true conclusion is that the only independent person is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, in the shell of that well, a frog thinks that this is the whole creation, this is the whole ocean, but it is just a small well. Similarly, when we get this body, we are in this body, so we think, understand things in respective to this body. We consider creation, we consider living entities, we consider desires, we consider everything in perspective to our limited understanding of this body. So whatever happens with me, it tries to relate it with the Supreme Lord also. I heard people saying, oh, what to say about our miseries when Lord Ram had to face an exile of 14 years. So what to say about us? So they relate own story to the Supreme Lord that because I am facing trouble, I got this body, I am facing trouble. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is also getting body and coming to this world and facing troubles. But to understand that Krishna, I am coming here, I am revolving in different species of life because of my karmic actions, because of misusing my free will, because of that competitive spirit with Krishna to enjoying mentality. So I am just evolving here and there, tasting different modes of material nature. But Krishna appears here with his sweet will. He wants to claim the fallen souls back to Godhead. He wants to perform pastimes with his devotees. He wants to set an example. He wants to teach. He wants to attract. So he's not coming here and suffering like a conditioned soul. What to say about Krishna? Even his pure devotees, they are not here suffering. They are also participating in the journey of preaching Krishna consciousness. So that's what today's verse tells us, that whatever is there, whatever we can see, whatever we understanding, the cause of all causes is Krishna. Everyone is dependent, and the only independent person is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So this is what I wanted to share in today's verse. So I'm having few more minutes to conclude. I have to rush for a meeting. So any devotees would like to share something, to comment something, or if they like some, if you liked some part of the today's session, so you can pray for me, bless me, so that I can also really follow the essence what I was just trying to share with all of you.
Hare Krishna, we done Pranam Prabhupada. It was such a nice class, reminding ourselves that Lord is the Krishna is the cause of all causes. Isha Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadi Adi Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam Brahmaji says with his the topmost intelligence. And here, at least myself, so much less intelligent. Still, I can understand that everything is coming from the Krishna. Bija Tasam Brahma Mahajani Raham Bija Pradapita. No, nothing moves without Krishna's will. So it is so important to hammer into our mind all the time that we are so insignificant fallen. I mean, nothing is in our control. Everything, even even the body that we have gotten and the mind that we have gotten, made up of 5 material elements, they are also provided by Krishna through the agency of Maya, and they are in control of Maya, the Trigunath. So the only purpose is to use this body mind in the service of Krishna, so that they can be purified from the gunas and we can go back. Hare Krishna. Thank you for reminding ourselves again and again. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for your kind explanation. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for your realization. Yeah, so any other devotee would like to add on something? Okay, so we can leave now. Okay, thank you very much, all of you,
Thank you,
for
Prabhuji,
your patience.
for a wonderful class.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Goes to Srila Prabhupada, Vansha Kalpita Rupesya Kripa Sindhu.